Greetings, this is Starseed Scotty. I wanted to do a astrology horoscope video. I haven't done it for a long time. I noticed a few people been subscribing to my channel, and I want to start sharing more, talk about the daily transits. I follow them all the time, and to me it's amazing to track the energy and see how it affects us personally and collectively. So I'm going to do a screen share, show you my favorite website for following the transits, which is Planet Watcher. Here we go. So right now the moon is at 22 degrees Cancer. The moon rules Cancer, so that's really cool. Really allowing us to tap deep into our emotions. And it's approaching the North Node, so the North Node's in Cancer, and I really feel it's a call for us to follow our feelings, of course, but in a way, it's to surrender to higher calling, because the nodes are also about destiny. The North Node's about kind of our future, what we want to do, our goals. And the South Node is kind of where we're at, our past. So the South Node's in Capricorn, which is really where Pluto is. Let's see if we can draw a circle here. So the moon with the North Node is opposing there. It's opposing Pluto exactly now. Wow, that's intense. That's really, really intense. Pluto in Capricorn since 2008 has been transforming society through government, through new ways of operating corporations. But internally, Pluto, I really feel, has been transforming our physical, because Capricorn's cardinal Earth. It's like our physical way of interacting with the world. South Node is the past, so I think for eons we have lived in a patriarchal society. Capricorn is associated with patriarchy and the male figures, male authority, but there is an alternative interpretation of Capricorn, of the great grandmothers of and matriarchies, and because Earth is a feminine element, and I actually consider Black Moon Lilith to be ruler of Capricorn, because if the moon rules Cancer and the Black Moon is, in a sense the opposite, then there is this deep, dark, feminine part of the earthy Capricorn nature that, especially Pluto being scorpionic, is really kind of connecting that, or kind of inviting us to that. And Saturn approaching Pluto is that's going to be just really epic. Saturn and Pluto. I experienced this in 2008 when Saturn and Pluto conjoined my natal Uranus, Saturn, 0 and 1 degree Capricorn. My whole life changed. I was literally stranded on a desert island. Well, not stranded, but on a tropical island with Micronesia. I gave up my whole Western life because I was just completely jaded, and just, I just kind of felt apathy towards the corruption of the patriarchal world of greed, and my heart just wanted to feel something more authentic. So I went to the earth, and I went to these islands, and that was when Saturn, actually that was, transiting Pluto on my Saturn Uranus. So the moon opposing Pluto is really just asking us of because the moon is much more subjective and personal. Where is the line between our feelings, our personal feelings, and the greater transformative soul element of Pluto? Um, so I guess it's like, where do we, whatever we feel will affect how we relate to the world. And if we, as Cancer, it's kind of has this kind of instinctive element of this child, the inner child. And if we nurture our inner child, then we can become very mature, ironically, because I really feel I have a lot of Leo energy. I feel by letting the inner child play, it allows much more of our maturity to come through, because it opens up the door to our higher self to channel through us. But on the other hand, if we do not tap into our deep emotions and we repress, which is so common in our society, we through shame and guilt and social rules and all these things, then we do not, if that's repressed, then we will invite external authority figures to rule us. And it's, I see it everywhere, and that, you know, we've become like a world of children who rely on kind of Big Brother, so to speak, the outer world, to take care of us. The nanny state is one way they call it. And so yeah, that's it's this is an intense aspect, and it's, but I always get guided by my higher self to follow the feelings. And the more that we do our shadow work, embrace the uncomfortable feelings, then we can become empowered and see the amazing depth of um, the emotional world, emotional landscape. So the moon is approaching to square Uranus and Mars, which is yeah, that's adding another intensity, because Uranus is the last degree of Aries and Mars just entered Taurus. And yeah, that's just really asking us to be more, Aries is our ego, Uranus is our evolution, how we can evolve ourselves, and Mars and Taurus is asking us to become more earthy and using our willpower to manifest through Taurus. And so when we're use our feelings, following our feelings for what we believe our destiny, which is, I'm all about following bliss, following finding the things that satisfy us, our passions, and also with Cancer and trining Chiron, and also earlier in the day I was trining Neptune. It's a higher sense of emotional compassion. Chiron is wounded healer, and to me, it's I had this mantra I say. I surrender my soul in spiritual service to Source. A lot of S's there. But it's this compassionate, beautiful space of surrendering our personal will to a higher will through our emotional body. Because service is, you know, it's with the 6th, 12th house polarity, it's one way I've heard it is service or slavery. That's a whole different topic, especially with Pluto and Saturn and Capricorn. Can be elements of slavery. You know, there's a big philosophical debate, especially with Jupiter here, quincunxing, you know, the moon. What is the higher wisdom of our emotions? Do our emotions come from us, or are they external? I often notice that being a Piscean, I can absorb the emotions of others. So am I responsible for them? or do I need to focus on just my inner world? But with Pisces and Chiron, there is a compelling connection to just serve. By helping others, we help ourselves. To me, it's so beautiful to make someone smile by asking, by feeling. I'm really, really empathic, so when I can feel someone and just be in their space and just to kind of give them like a heart feeling of saying, I accept you the way you are. I feel you. And it's unconditional love, which is really important, because often we'll feel intense energies from others, especially with most people who do not know energetic hygiene, and they'll have a lot of karmic um, um, and astral energy attached to them. But when we serve unconditionally and we can merge Pisces, we can see the unity of each other amongst the separateness. And of course, we need healthy boundaries, which Uranus, I think, will be asking us, because Aries is very, very individualistic. And Mars and Taurus really, asking us, it's important to desire what we want to feel, from food to what we wear, our clothes, and because Taurus being very Venusian, if we're in touch with ourselves, then we can help others more. They say enlightened self-interest. If a plane is crashing, you have to put your own air mask on first, or you help someone else out. If we don't help ourselves, we can't really help others to the maximum amount. So yeah, that's really the main aspects of the moon. It's a very emotional energy, because that trine to Chiron and Mercury is with Neptune. Mercury's on my sun right now. Perhaps that's why I did this video. Exactly conjunct my sun, 30 minutes away. Yeah, and Mercury and Neptune is very much channeling spirit, and because Neptune is this vast, mysterious realm. I have Pisces sun, so I'm very much connected to the nebulous nature of the dream. We're dreaming 24 hours a day. It's from Four Agreements, amazing book. And dream and reality is a very blurry line, because our imagination creates our reality. Every thought we think and feeling we connect to has a connection to our manifestation. And Sun in Aquarius just ending its transit is really kind of highlighting this, which is it's encompassing North Node, because Uranus is the law of attraction. It's very electrical, and we manifest through our thoughts is one of the main parts, and because it's fixed air and posing it's just we're in the age of Aquarius, and when to me it's just fascinating. I have Mercury in Aquarius, so I very much can channel that quantum nature, because everything's interconnected. And whereas Pisces is like the unity of like this kind of the oceanic realm of consciousness, Aquarius is more the dots, it's like the interconnected nodes. So if you see like a map, you see all the dots of the different cities, or I can't think of a better analogy, but it's like nodes. And there is separation, but it's all connected by lines. And I've seen this in vision quests, mushrooms, and various other things, that the stars are actually all connected energetically. They look separate, but there is connections. And in the same way, every single human on this planet is connected, because we're anatomically, physiologically human. We're completely unique though, which is the irony. This is the mantra of Aquarius. We're unique, unity and diversity. We're united by our uniqueness, which is just a beautiful thing. Absolutely beautiful. Because in this Capricorn world that is very much about status, and there's an element of hive mind with Capricorn, especially with Saturn and Venus. Actually, I forgot to mention is I have to erase all this. No. Venus is conjoining Saturn right now, so that's really tuning us into the nature of the consensus reality of Capricorn and how our intimate sense of self and relation to others, Venus, it's what builds that consensus. And I say hive mind because our society has many things that are about we all have to pay our taxes, pay the bills, and I completely understand we need structure because there would be chaos and there'd be so much destruction with our order. But if there's too much order, it kills the kid. It kills the creativity, better word. And I think Venus and Capricorn really wants us to have that, that because it's the planet of love, it's the planet of beauty, and I think Venus wants Saturn to listen up a little bit. I think it's Venus in detriment Capricorn, but I really feel it's softening, or perhaps vice versa. It really depends. I really believe astrology can go, because we're co-creating, manifesting beings. Our awareness can affect the actual outcome. As many people say, Venus is exclusively this rulership, but I've learned by following transits that it's much more malleable, the energy. They say, I've heard that the energy goes two ways. So the interpretation of the planet is like the foundation, but our own Aquarian awareness can actually change that, or there's like 50-50. I really believe there's a 50-50. I think Aquarius wants us to really see that we shape reality by the way we see it. And of course, Mercury and Neptune, Mercury being that logos, that, very, very sharp intellect energy. And Pisces is kind of loosening the grip of what we believe is fixed, like the law of physics and like everything's set. And Pisces is much more nebulous, and everything is like reality and the dream is very, very blurry. And it can, there can be an escapist tendency. I certainly have that. And, the rose-colored glasses and seeing things as not, larger than life. But there is Neptune, they say, is the oversoul of Venus. And there's a mystical power, because Pisces being the last sign of the zodiac, to me, it's unity consciousness. And there is something very, very real about that, even though it's, we might not see it, because it's the immutable water. And, it's the experiences of our joy that make life worthwhile. I mean, I have a very intense life, and sometimes, I see the suffering everywhere, and I'm completely, my heart pours. And but I do really believe that the Neptune has this connection to the spirit world, and we're actually being guided by billions, trillions of interdimensional and extraterrestrial forces. That's why I'm very much into starseed interpretation of astrology. And with Venus here is on the star Vega, and then well, Uranus is on Andromeda, and what other stars? Well, I need to look up the stars, but definitely there's always a stellar for energy in the background. It's very multi-dimensional. Neptune and Aquarius would really um, um, allow us to blur into that. It's really fun. So I think I will keep this short and sweet, and I hope you enjoyed, or at least learned something. And I will do this definitely more often. And please let me know if there's any questions, or if there's anything I can change, or I want to talk about asteroids as well in these transits. I'll actually quickly show you the website I use, Serenu. So this is the asteroid transits for today. It's really, really cool. It doesn't have the chart, but like the aspects, but it does show the degrees of each of the asteroids to each sign. So let me show you, do a circle. So for example, I'll need to actually, well, so for example, Neptune is conjunct Sphinx in that circle there, which is an Egyptian asteroid. Also Vestas at 7 degrees is Nessus. Vestas and Aphrodite are feminine asteroids, feminine goddesses. Urania is conjunct in Eris, or close to Uranus. Eris is the dark goddess that is a planetoid past Pluto. It's very much has a very, very subtle but intense energy of transformation. The moon is conjunct Dionysus, which is the Greek god of drunken states, and I can really connect to that, because altered states are a way to access hyperdimensionality. We don't necessarily have to do drugs, but pretty much everything we do taps us into a different dimension. Multidimensionality is much more mainstream than most people would realize. Yeah, I'll do this another day, but I definitely want to talk about these things, because pretty much no astrologers are talking about these asteroids that I'm aware of, which surprises me. These asteroids add mythology, a history, because they're all in our solar system, and when they conjoin a planet, they really add like a layer of extra background story, just like in a movie. There's like so many layers of like the context and the time that it's set in. The planet itself is like the main overtone, and that can be interpreted in millions of ways. But when there's an asteroid there, it's really inviting us to timeline that we can tap into, and perhaps we can time travel when we're aware of this. This would be the Aquarian legacy, that the past and the future are contained within the now. I think we're the potential of the human, the superhuman, the awakened, ascended human is pretty vast. And we know we're just exiting the age of Pisces with a lot of deception and delusion. But I think in this age of Aquarius, we're stepping into the power of our unity by using our unique gifts, and we share them with others. we can actually create heaven on earth. I'm completely convinced because I live that dream. I manifest in little pieces every day. So thanks so much for watching, and I'm signing out. This is Starseed Scotty. Aloha.